So today we are going to talk about manipulation of ratios and fractions. So for context, so we sometimes have to take, let's say, half of 3/4, or you have to divide a ratio by another ratio, and we want to see how to do this methodically. So we are going to first only focus on multiplication and division of these ratios because it's a simple operation. I mean, all these operations are simple. Even addition and subtractions of ratios is also simple. But for this particular topic, we are only going to focus on manipulation that involves multiplication and division. Once we get that cleared out, then we will talk about addition and subtraction in a later video. So we can talk about these individual problems, but the one thing to remember is that we always only multiply ratios. Even if it is a division, we convert it as a multiplication, and then that's how we proceed with the problem. So remember this one thing, that we only always multiply. We only multiply ratios. That's one thing that it's relatively straightforward to do. And how do we multiply? Before we go on into the details of the individual or actual problems, so here is how we multiply. Suppose we are given two ratios. Let's say 5 divided by 7 times, let's say, 9 divided by 13. I'm just picking random numbers here. So is equal to what? That's what we want to find out. So multiply numerators and multiply denominators. That's what we do. Numerators separately multiply denominators. Denominators, and then take the ratio. So in this example, it will be, this will be equal to 5 times 9 divided by 7 times 13, which is, what is it, 45 divided by 91. The actual numbers here are not important, but this is the method. We always only multiply fractions, and we multiply numerators separately, denominators separately, and then take the ratio. You can simplify this somewhat by taking common factors from the numerator and denominator and cancelling them out, so that you get a number. You will get a fraction that is expressed as a ratio of smaller numbers, but that's a further simplification. But the actual answer is always multiply numerators, multiply denominators. So let's go over these individual problems separately. So 2/3 times 5/8. Let's see how we can do this. 2/3 times 5/8. So as we know, we have to multiply numerators and denominators. This is equal to 2 times 5 divided by 3 times 8. This is 10 divided by 24. We also can write this alternatively as, so this 2/3 times 5/8. So this 2 divides 8, so this is 1/4. So again, 1 times 5 divided by 3 times 4. This is equal to 5 divided by 12. It's the same answer, it's just a ratio of smaller numbers. It's maybe easier to express. That's all. So this is how we multiply fractions. Multiply numerators, multiply denominators, and take that ratio. Let's do the remaining problems. 3/4 of 7/8. Now sometimes people get confused of the meaning of the word of. Of is always just multiplication, nothing more. So let me actually write this down. So of is synonymous to multiplication. So whenever you see of in this context of ratios and multiplication, it's just multiplication. So it is 3/4 times 7/8. So second one is 3/4 of 7/8, which is equal to 3/4 times 7/8, which is, again, 3 times 7 is 21 divided by 4 times 8 is 32. So that's it. Let's do one more of this type. Half of 4/5. This should be straightforward. Half of 4/5. This is, half is 1 divided by 2. Of means multiplication. 4/5. Now this 2 divides 4, so this is is equal to 2 divided by 5. Okay, let's change this somewhat. So we are given now division of two ratios. So as we said, we only multiply fractions, we never divide fractions directly. So but we know that multiplication is the inverse operation of division. So 3/5 divided by 2/3, let's see, 3/5 divided by 2/3 is equal to 3/5 times 3 divided by 2. We are going to write the reciprocal of this. Let me write this down. We take the reciprocal of the number that we are dividing by and we are going to multiply by that number, which is 3 times 3 divided by 5 times 2, which is 9 divided by 10. So as I mentioned, we always only multiply fractions, we never divide fractions directly. We take the inverse if it is a division operation, and that's about it. Let's do one more of this type. 5/8 divided by 2/5. 5/8 divided by 2/5 is equal to 5/8 times 5 divided by 2. We only always multiply, we never divide. So this 2/5, we take the reciprocal of this guy and multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal just means, so reciprocal is just 1 divided by a number. So in the context of fractions, it has the numerator and denominator are switched. So this is equal to 5 times 5 divided by 8 times 2, which is 25 divided by 16. So that's about it. So the one thing that, if you can take sorry, this notepad flipped a little. The one thing that you can remember from all this discussion is always only multiply and never divide fractions. All right.